Success is loud, but the wise stay silent. Ever notice how some people lose everything right after they finally get ahead? Why do we feel the need to announce our every win? Is it confidence, pride, or a dangerous lack of self-awareness? Have you ever noticed how the loudest people in the room usually have the least going on, but the truly dangerous ones, the winners, stay quiet? Why is it that in your best moments, silence becomes your greatest weapon? Too many people mistake silence for weakness. They think that if you're quiet, you're not confident, or worse, that you're unsure of yourself. But here's the truth. Silence isn't weakness. It's a strategy. The loudest in the room are rarely the most powerful, and often the person watching quietly, listening deeply, and moving deliberately is the one with the real edge. So why does silence matter so much, especially when you're winning? When you truly know your worth, you don't need to shout it. Real winners, those who've done the hard work, face the doubt and conquered the fear, don't go around seeking applause, because the win itself is the reward. Validation is addictive and dangerous. When you're constantly trying to prove yourself, you're giving your power away. You begin to make decisions based on what will impress others, not what will benefit you. Are you chasing success, or are you chasing attention? Winners stay grounded. They understand that validation fades, but self-respect lasts. This is one of the most powerful benefits of staying silent. People underestimate what they can't predict. When you're quiet about your progress, people assume you're not making any, and that's your advantage. Think about it. While they're busy talking, bragging, and showing off, you're busy learning, growing, and planning. While they're focused on how they're perceived, you're focused on who you're becoming. Being underestimated allows you to work in peace. No sabotage, no unnecessary pressure, no distractions. And when you finally show the results, they're shocked. That's power. A lion doesn't have to roar to prove it's a lion. It just needs to move. Let's talk about people who moved in silence and became giants in their fields. Before becoming a household name, Musk quietly built and sold multiple companies. Many didn't take him seriously in the early days, but instead of seeking attention, he focused on the mission. Now, the results speak for themselves. Messi rarely talks trash or boasts. He doesn't show off in press conferences, but his performance on the pitch? Unmatched. He lets his game do the talking. That's silent excellence. In the early years of Amazon, Bezos was focused, not flashy. While others mocked the online bookstore idea, he worked quietly, refining systems, building infrastructure, and making calculated moves. Look at Amazon now, and maybe it's you. Maybe you've been grinding in silence, waiting for your moment. Maybe you're the one being doubted. That's good, because when it hits harder. Being silent doesn't mean you're not winning. It means you're choosing peace over praise. It means you're planting roots before you bear fruit. So next time someone asks why you're not showing off, just smile and remember, a tree makes no noise while growing, but it will shake the world when it blooms. We like to believe that everyone will cheer for us when we finally win. When we get that job, launch that business, build that home, or overcome a tough season. But here's the truth. Not everyone will clap when you rise. And sometimes, the ones closest you feel the most uncomfortable watching you succeed. It's not always hate. Sometimes it's pain. Your success might remind someone else of their own stagnation. Your breakthrough may highlight someone else's delay. And when you start shouting your wins from the rooftops, you're not just sharing joy. You're triggering insecurities, inviting silent comparisons, and waking up emotions you didn't know existed in others. Jealousy wears many disguises. Fake smiles, backhanded compliments, silent withdrawal, unexpected coldness from old friends. People don't always say, "I'm jealous." Instead, they pull away. They mock. They gossip. They act unbothered, but stay watching. And here's the scary part. You don't need to do anything wrong to trigger envy. You just need to do well. This is why you must move wisely, not loudly. Success is best served quietly, not to hide it, but to protect it. This one hurts. You might think your best friend, cousin, or even sibling will be the first to repost your good news, support your work, or celebrate your win. But when their lives feel stuck or uncertain, your joy might look like an insult, even when that was never your intention. And this isn't about guilt tripping you for winning. No, you earned it, but it's a gentle warning. Loud wins create silent tension. And sometimes, it's wise to protect relationships by walking humbly in victory rather than waving flags in everyone's face. Some people don't hate your success. They just hate that it didn't include them. And once they know what you're building, they'll try to stop it, not always directly, but through subtle resistance, gossip, discouragement, or delay. Have you ever shared an idea too early and then watched it fall apart? It's not magic, it's energy. Speaking too soon exposes your vision to forces that weren't ready to handle it. Sometimes, silence isn't secrecy. It's strategy. Letting your wins breathe in silence gives you space to grow without pressure, build without interruption, heal without judgment, achieve without noise. This isn't about being afraid. It's about being aware. So before you share that next win, pause. Ask yourself, is this for celebration or validation? Because real peace comes when your soul knows it's winning, even when your mouth says nothing. Protect your progress. Stay humble. Stay focused. Let your success make the noise, not your voice. Let's be honest. In today's world, everyone wants to be seen, to be heard, to be praised. But here's the truth. Those who talk the most often achieve the least. Why? Because energy spent on appearances is energy lost on execution. Now think about this. Who do you respect more? The person who constantly talks about their goals, or the one who just does the work and lets the results speak for themselves? Quiet consistency is a silent force. It's not glamorous. It's not flashy. But over time, it builds unshakable credibility. When people start to notice your growth without you even announcing it, that's when you've tapped into something powerful. And the best part? You don't have to convince anyone. Your results become the proof. No explanations, no defending, just progress. Ask yourself, are you building your name, or are you spending your time explaining it? Here's something many people don't realize. The strongest reputations are built when you're not even trying to be known. When you focus on your craft, your character, and your discipline, people begin to talk about you when you're not in the room. And that kind of talk, that's respect, not hype. It's not about being viral. It's not about being loud. It's about being valuable. Think of people you admire deeply. Most of them probably don't flaunt their lives online, but their reputation travels far because what they built speaks for them. Let your work carry your name further than your words ever could. And here's a humble reminder. When your reputation is built on quiet results, you don't have to prove anything to anyone. People will approach you with honor, not just curiosity. Now let's talk about mystery, one of the most underrated forms of power. When you don't share everything, people are forced to observe instead of judge. They can't form opinions based on partial information. They can only respect the results they see. Mystery makes people wonder, what's going on behind the scenes? How did they make that happen? What's their next move? And guess what? When people are curious instead of critical, you hold the power. Silence doesn't mean invisibility. It means control. You're not hiding. You're protecting what matters. You're allowing your journey to grow in peace, away from noise, distractions, and premature judgment. Why feed people explanations when you can serve them evidence? In the end, let your work echo in the hearts of people, not your words. Let your journey be a quiet story written in private, revealed only through impact. You don't need to shout. You don't need to explain. You just need to build. And when the time comes, your results will walk into every room before you do. Let's be honest, most of us have done it at some point. We hit a small win. Maybe you closed a deal, finally got noticed, or started making more money. And the first instinct is to tell someone, maybe even everyone. But here's the quiet truth. The need to brag doesn't come from a place of strength. It often comes from a place of doubt. When you constantly talk about your achievements, what you're really saying is, please see me, please validate me, please tell me this matters. And that's not confidence, that's fear in disguise. It's the fear that your win won't count unless someone else claps for it. It walks into a room, doesn't announce itself, and still commands respect. because it's not looking for approval. It already knows its worth. When was the last time you shared a win just to feel better about yourself? Was it about the win, or about the reaction you hope to get? Some people think humility means being small, quiet, or timid, but that's not humility. That's shrinking. And shrinking is not what this message is about. Real humility is knowing who you are, knowing what you've done, and choosing not to throw it in anyone's face. It's not silence out of fear. It's silence out of wisdom. Humility is saying, I don't need to tell you what I've achieved. If it matters, you'll see it. If not, that's okay too. That kind of humility is powerful because it comes from self-control, emotional maturity, and the ability to delay praise for something deeper, impact. Practice sitting with your success without rushing to speak it. The more you can enjoy your wins privately, the more peace you'll attract publicly. When you win, whether it's in your career, your finances, your personal growth, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it peace? Is it fulfillment? Or is it who's going to notice? That question will tell you a lot about yourself. There are two kinds of winners. Those who win for the result. They care about the impact, the growth, the freedom. And those who win for the reaction. They care more about being seen than being stable. The ones who win for attention rarely hold the win for long, because once the applause fades, they feel empty again, and they need another show to stay relevant. But those who win for the result, they're focused, quiet, and steady. They don't need the noise. They build silently, and they last. What drives your hunger to win? If no one ever clapped, would the victory still matter to you? We all crave recognition sometimes. It's human. But when your ego leads away, it will always push you to speak too soon, seek too much, and sabotage the very thing you built. So, the next time you succeed, breathe, hold it quietly, let it settle in your soul, and remind yourself, I don't need to prove it, I just need to live it. Your story is sacred. It's made up of your dreams, your struggles, your progress, your pain, your prayers, the things that live deep inside your heart. Now ask yourself, is everyone in your life truly equipped to respect or even understand that? Some people only listen to you so they can judge. Others watch only to compete. And some may secretly wait for you to fail, just so they can say, I told you so. That's why being selective with what you share isn't arrogance, it's wisdom. You're not hiding, you're protecting what matters. Just because someone asks you what's next doesn't mean they deserve to know. Your story isn't a public service announcement. It's not for entertainment. It's not for likes. It's yours. And when you keep it safe, it grows better in silence, like a seed buried deep before the bloom. There's a quiet power in working behind the scenes. When nobody knows what you're building, there's less pressure to perform and more space to focus. You're not living to impress. You're living to progress. How many dreams died early because they were shared too loudly, too soon? The moment you speak, you invite opinions, some helpful, but many discouraging. Suddenly, people project their fears onto you. Are you sure that's realistic? Why don't you play it safe? That's not how others do it. Before you know it, doubt becomes louder than desire. But when your success is private, it becomes purer. You're not running to meet anyone's expectations but your own. Sustainable growth often starts in silence, where you fail quietly, and just quietly, and succeed quietly until the results are too loud to ignore. It's not about secrecy for secrecy's sake. It's about preserving your energy, your creativity, your calling. What do you really lose when you share everything publicly? You lose control, because now people feel entitled to an opinion on your life. You lose freedom. You start editing your life for the audience, not for yourself. You lose authenticity. You might start performing instead of living. And worst of all, you may lose peace. We live in a world where people post everything, milestones, money, relationships, moves, and then wonder why they feel anxious, judged, or under attack. But maybe the answer isn't more exposure. Maybe it's less. Privacy is power. And sometimes, protecting your peace is more important than proving your progress. You don't need to explain your every move. You don't need to convince people that you're doing well. And you definitely don't need to tell your story to everyone who listens. Control the flow. Protect the process. Let the outcome speak. Because in the end, what's real doesn't need to be broadcast. It just needs to be lived. Let me tell you about someone I knew back in school. His name was Mark, wasn't the loudest. He wasn't the most popular, and honestly, he wasn't even the smartest kid in the class by everyone's standards. He was the kind of guy who always sat at the back, did his work quietly and never boasted. No flashy clothes, no social media show-offs, no loud predictions of how he would make it. While others were chasing attention, he was studying. While people were showing off new phones and designer shoes, he was saving every kobo he could get from tutoring others after school. No one noticed when he got a scholarship. He didn't post it. No one saw when he graduated with top honors. He didn't throw a party. Years later, without anyone knowing, Mark built his own tech company. And guess what? The same people who ignored him were tagging him on Instagram, trying to reach out, calling him my guy. He didn't blow up by accident. He worked in silence every day. No announcements, no noise. His success didn't need a microphone. It spoke for itself. The quieter your grind, the louder your results. Because when you don't waste energy trying to impress people, you use that energy to improve your life. Now, on the other hand, let me tell you about Daniel. From the very first day of university, Daniel talked big. He would always say, "I'm going to be the richest guy in this school." He posted pictures in fake designer outfits, borrowed cars for selfies, and always exaggerated everything: his grades, his hustle, his plans. He talked so much about success that people started believing he had already arrived. But here's the truth. Daniel spent more time performing success than actually building it. While others were grinding in silence, Daniel was creating hype. While Mark was learning new skills at night, Daniel was posting quotes he didn't live by. By the time graduation came, Daniel had no job, no business, and no backup plan. All he had was an image, and eventually that image faded. The likes stopped, the noise died down, and all that remained was regret. If you talk too much about what you're going to do, you trick your brain into feeling like you've already done it. You spend more time proving you're a winner than actually becoming one. These two people, Mark and Daniel, started in the same classroom, but they took two different paths. One stayed quiet and let his results shock the world. The other talked loudly and had nothing to show for it. Which one are you becoming? Let this be your reminder. You don't need to announce every step. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Just work, build, and when it's time, let your silence scream. Shut your mouth, stack your wins, and let your silence scream. It sounds bold, doesn't it? But what does it truly mean? Because not every win is meant for crowd. Some victories are just between you and God, you and your journey, you and your pain. A quiet win is that personal growth you achieve when nobody was watching. It's passing an exam you failed 3 times before. It's walking away from someone toxic without announcing it on social media. It's getting that promotion you prayed for without telling everyone how hard it was. A quiet win isn't small. It's just sacred. You don't need to announce it to feel its power. You just need to own it within. This isn't about arrogance. This is about wisdom. Talking too much can cost you attention from the wrong people. Not everyone is happy when you're winning. Some are silently wishing you fail. When you speak too soon, you expose yourself to envy, jealousy, and sabotage. Pressure to perform. When you tell everyone your plans, you create unnecessary expectations. Now people are watching, waiting, judging. That pressure can choke progress. Wasted energy. Energy spent explaining your success is energy you could use to build the next one. Real winners don't waste time trying to convince people they're winning. They just keep winning quietly. Stacking your wins means consistency. Small, daily victories. Quiet moments of discipline. Progress nobody claps for. Waking up early. Saving money instead of spending to impress. Choosing peace over petty arguments. Saying no to what no longer serves you. These are wins. And when you stack them daily, they become your foundation. You don't need to shout when your life speaks for itself. There's something powerful about being the surprise. When people finally notice your success and they had no idea you were grinding behind the scenes, that's when your silence screams the loudest. You didn't show off. You didn't beg for attention. You simply stayed focused. And now the results speak so loudly that even your enemies are forced to clap. That's not ego. That's power with discipline. Do I want applause or do I want results? Too often, we trade real progress for public praise. We post the first step, but never finish the journey. We announce dreams, but we don't commit to the grind. But the truth is, those who master the art of the quiet win are the ones who leave the deepest impact because they weren't trying to go viral. They were trying to go far. Your win doesn't need validation. Your success doesn't need spectators. What's done in silence often grows the strongest roots. So keep planting, keep building, keep rising quietly. And when the fruit shows up, let it speak for you. Because the loudest success is the one that didn't need a microphone. If you're winning right now, don't rush to tell the world. Let people feel your growth, not just hear about it. Shut your mouth, stack your wins. Let your silence scream. That is the art of quiet win. Remember, true strength isn't always about flaunting your success. It's about knowing when to stay silent. So, next time you're winning, keep your mouth shut and let your actions speak louder. Stay humble, stay focused, and keep moving forward. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content. See you in the next video.